Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair, and welcome back to...
The Summer of Arnold Schwarzenegger!
This movie's not worth the roof. And today we finish our look at the Schwarzenegger Terminator movies with Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. The first of the Terminator films, not to be written or directed by James Cameron. Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines instead was the work of John Brancato, Michael Ferris, and Jonathan Mostow. The same trio responsible for the very average Bruce Willis flick Surrogates. Because when you need to follow up your sci-fi blockbuster masterpiece, quality's not important, money's all that matters. Seriously, at James Cameron's request, Schwarzenegger signed on to this movie under the condition he be paid a shit ton of money. Which he was, and that means he returns to the past/present, whatever it is, as the heroic Terminator who must protect John Connor and friends from the evil TX Terminator who has come to kill them and prevent something. Remember Terminator 1 and 2? It's kinda like that except without logic. So let's take a look at Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines and see just how quickly they fuck things up. Right away as we open to an interior monologue by John Connor who goes over the events of the previous movies.
They tried to murder me before I was born. When I was 13, they tried again.
Edward Furlong was 13. The character of John Connor in Terminator 2 was supposed to be 9, and all this semantics bullshit could have been avoided anyway if you just used the line, "when I was a kid." This time John Connor is played by Nick Stahl. The original plan was to get Furlong back, but it said they dropped that idea because of his alleged substance abuse problems at the time. What is Connor doing here? Trying to forget his problems by abusing various substances.
But as hard as I try, I can't erase my dreams. My nightmares.
The nightmares about the future. Something that you've never fucking experienced. It made sense for Kyle Reese. He's been in that shit. He fought the future wars. You have nightmares about your friends turning into silver goo and trying to kill you. You know, something you actually experienced. But he dreams of machine-controlled airships that he's never seen before, hunting down the human race for extinction, and armies upon armies of Terminators. Again, a sight he has never once laid eyes upon himself. Because of his fear of machines, he stays off the grid and avoids human contact as much as possible. Which hardly seems to matter. It looks like the animals hate him too. So let's move on from his sorry ass to the real attraction of this movie. Naked women who emerge from expensive special effects. This would be Kristanna Loken, who plays our new Terminator, the TX. Not sure why Skynet decided they like letters better than numbers all of a sudden, but never mind that.
I like this car. What are you...
In accordance with the Terminator's need to infiltrate human settlements undetected, she murders the first woman she sees. To be fair, in the series, that's kinda what they've done the whole time. Continuing to slip in completely undetected, she barrel-asses down the road, zipping in and out of traffic while completely ignoring traffic signals. Normal LA stuff. For some fucking reason, though, the police actually pull her over, and she does her best to make a good first impression. I wouldn't have thought she got the idea of her instant breast augmentation until watching some killer clowns from outer space. Well, that's great, now I gotta do a top 10 titty balloons video. She doesn't need to seduce him anyway, considering she just kills the man for his gun. After this, let's get a quick-fire introduction of important players. Kate Brewster, played by Claire Danes, her fiancé Scott Peterson, played by Mark Famiglietti, and Kate's father, Robert Brewster, played by David Andrews. Robert's the only one of importance right now, as he's been working on this little thing called Skynet, and his underling believes it might be able to take care of this nasty computer virus that's been sweeping the nation.
Sir, the Pentagon has proposed that we use our AI to scan the entire infrastructure, search and destroy for any hint of the virus.
I know, Tony, but that's like going after a fly with a bazooka.
Yeah, and that's fucking awesome! Do it! Still, Brewster says it's important to keep humans in charge of something, and they leave the virus to ravage the world. While this is going on, though, Arnold Schwarzenegger teleports in from the future in a scene that can't make up if it wants to be hard to see in order to conceal the man's age, or out there to show off the high-tech special effects. Doesn't matter either way, we cut to John Connor breaking into a vet to steal medicine. Okay, never mind, we're back with Arnie, as he seeks out a bar as a means to acquire some clothing. Oh, don't back out now, Arnold. Rock those high heels! In case you thought the biker look was a mite bit flamboyant, don't worry. The Terminator's one and only option, which as luck would have it is a perfect fit, is a male stripper. Though he's not interested in rushing his routine, no matter how hunky a guy this is.
Talk to the hand.
Now.
Oh great, now even the hand has no idea what the hell you're talking about. No matter the case, this grants the Terminator some spiffy leather clothes, and surprisingly enough, those pants aren't the easily ripped off variety. The eyewear is ridiculous enough that even a robot built solely to murder people agrees that those are going way too far. Fortunately, the ones he finds in the truck that he steals are much more fitting. Whether or not robots dream of electric knitted wool fashion will have to wait though, as the TX is getting some drive-through. Now, the name on file has one R then two Rs. The name tag has two Rs then one R. That's hardly a computer-perfect match. But fuck it, that's close enough for a Terminator. Or certain algorithms. She doesn't waste any time moving on to a house party to take care of the loud music, as I'm sure we all would love to. What do you want from me, my crotchety old fart? I see kids die in a movie, I laugh! But what's this? Our string of teenager target practice is interrupted by Kate getting an emergency call to head to the vet at once! This means she finds John, who is still there, having passed out after taking all those pills.
This is the stuff we use to chemically neuter dogs.
Oh, don't worry about that. His character lost his balls ages ago. As we see when she easily dupes this guy, trained from birth to fight and save the human race, stealing his paintball gun, and overpowering him long enough to toss his ass in a cage. Conveniently enough, this means he has nowhere to go as she lets her emergency patient in, and then promptly ignores them to go back and gawk at the junkie in the box.
You're John Connor.
Hey, by the way, all that work he did to have no name, no records, and live off the grid so that no one could ever track him down. Well, he never thought to maybe move away from the giant fucking city that he grew up in, and plenty of people there still know him. Brilliant military strategist! Either way, this conversation starts and ends with she knows who John Connor is, but nothing about why he's been badly off the grid since childhood. No bother, there is a noise, and this requires investigation. Maybe if I get out quietly, the boss won't ask me to clean it up. We also learned that while records were spotty at best after the war, making the TX not certain if this woman was Kate by looks, she just so happens to have her DNA on file and figures out that she killed the wrong woman that way. This technique also reveals to her, through a bloody bandage, that John Connor is somewhere nearby. This means when she does spot Kate, instead of killing her outright, she merely subdues the woman and demands to know where John Connor is. This doesn't quite work out, though. Because like so many other beings in headlights, she also has no idea how to sidestep. Who was our mysterious reckless motorist? No surprise, none other than the Terminator in the flesh. And somewhat funny-smelling leather.
Catherine Brewster.
Well, I guess the confirmation part isn't entirely important. Kidnap all the women! She's bound to be one of them. So he shoves her in the back of the truck, saying he'll let her go if she tells him where John Connor is, then locks her back there just the same while he goes to get him. And this is where they reveal that the TX is not your traditional Terminator, nor a purely liquid metal T-1000, but a weird conglomeration of the two, like a Prius with tits. Either way, time freezes during lockpicking, allowing John to escape long before she gets up, running right the fuck out into the other Terminator. No surprise, Schwarzenegger's the good killing machine, throwing John into the truck and telling him to escape while the Terminator fights the Terminator in The Terminator vs. The Terminator. Which is not the knockdown drag-out fight I was imagining. This chaos and gunfire naturally results in the LAPD showing up, but they don't seem to mind the mysterious woman poking around their vehicles. Which she does something to, because future technology is magic. While this is going on, Kate calls the police. Pay no attention to this, the movie pretends like it never happened anyway. The thing that was important was all that poking the TX did around the emergency response vehicles. Yeah, that shit wouldn't work unless those were already self-driving cars. I know technically the official explanation is nanomachines, but nanomachines couldn't fucking do that. This is like hacking a bicycle. Oh, I'm sorry. Future technology is magic. Also, it turns out she merely stunned Schwarzenegger. Stunned long enough that she could have easily killed him, but fuck it, it's not like this movie's even trying to make sense. Also, in case you think that they're doing something like The Terminator and will explain the plot during a chase scene...
Stop the car! Shut
Nope. At best, we see that John also doesn't have a good grasp on the 2-second rule. The whole reason for this improbable accident was to give us an excuse for John, who got out a great many minutes before the police even arrived, let alone got their vehicles tech-jacked, somehow stood still long enough for the TX to find him again in those whole 40 fucking seconds. Thus, the chase is on. Which is a chase, I guess. It's big and it's quite the spectacle, don't get me wrong, but it does seem a bit lacking. Not only because there's still plenty of questions regarding the plot this movie is not even trying to address, but also... It took 6 months to edit this chase sequence, and at no point did anyone think to maybe add a little music. This makes the chase, which is already over 5 minutes long, feel even longer, and not in a good way. I remember even the first time I watched this wondering when the damn thing was going to end. I gotta give him this, though. I never thought that I'd witness an Austrian bodybuilder being smashed through a building at high speeds and feel so fucking bored. One more good note, they did use real vehicles and practical effects for most of what was going on. You can tell because the big explosive end where Arnold hooks the crane into the sewer in order to make it defy the laws of physics to flip over itself, that shot was done in CGI, and boy does it fail to impress. Oh well, point is the chase is finally over, and the Terminator can check how John is doing.
No sign of brain trauma.
I wouldn't be so quick to make that assumption if I were you, because...
Do you even remember me? Sarah Connor? Blowing up Cyberdyne? Hasta la vista, baby?
That one was destroyed. It was slowly lowered into a smelting pit. You were there, you watched it, your mother pressed the button. Maybe stop having nightmares about the future that you don't fucking know about and actually be traumatized by shit that actually happened to you. Not content to simply have Connor act like a fucking idiot, the movie assumes the rest of us are at least as dense, as the Terminator has to rather quickly remove one of his hydrogen fuel cells, as it was damaged during the confrontation. It seems getting rid of it quickly was a good idea.
When ruptured, the fuel cell has become unstable.
Yeah, it turns out Model 101 Terminators are equipped with 2 goddamn mini nukes to power them, and that would have killed both Kyle and Sarah and the unborn baby in the first movie after the little pipe bomb explosion, and it also would have killed Sarah and John in the second movie after the smelting, but now they say actually those were T-800s in those movies, and this is a T-850, an upgraded model, but that just tells you how badly they fucked up. You would think at some point during this road trip they'd cover something like the goddamn plot, but nope! Instead, Kate is left in the dark long enough that when they stopped for food, she's still kicking and screaming, leaving the gas station attendant to call the police and report a possible kidnapping! See, I told you calling the cops earlier was pointless. Finally, 45 minutes in, they bother starting to explain the basic plot to Kate.
Tell her who I am.
John Connor is leader of the worldwide resistance and last best hope of humankind.
Right.
Okay, that's a start. Mind going over the parts that we don't know? I mean, it's not like you have any desire to keep us guessing. We straight up see Kate's fiancé get murdered by the TX before answering the door. Gee, I wonder if it's really her fiancé. The police are looking for Kate, make no mention whatsoever of her calling them about being kidnapped, but do mention the gas station incident, so the TX offers to tag along. John and friends, though, have arrived at his mother's grave, which says she was born in 59, despite basic character facts and math telling us she was born in 65. Well, I guess that's one way to deal with retcon bullshit. Oh, he was just revealing that her grave was actually a massive weapons cache to fight those, why do they need all those guns again?
Out of my way!
Oh, so the lady that they kept near completely in the dark can undermine all their progress and cause an unnecessary crisis situation, of course. However, threatening a Terminator with a 9mm is like trying to kill a bear with a marshmallow, and it's not until standing around in one spot like idiots they let the police catch up to them, that she has a chance to slip away. Okay, now this giant box of guns looks like it'll come in handy, especially since the police waste no time calling in about how they found Kate safe and sound in the cemetery.
Oh my god! Oh my dear Jesus Christ!
Backseat drivers, am I right? Never mind that for a bit, though. We've got to have our handy-dandy psychiatrist show up to calm Kate down, and as luck would have it, it's still Dr. Silverman, played by Earl Bone, who seems to be suffering from traumas of his own.
You find yourself imagining things, insane things. Take years to get over it.
Yeah, it's kind of like when something you know and love is brought before you and is slowly and methodically torn apart and destroyed over 100 minutes. John and the Terminator have to escape, though. No problem, just walk out, shoot at them a bunch, and get a new car. Oh, and they also finally bring up the plot on why Kate must be saved, too.
What makes her so goddamn important?
Through her, you make contact with remnants of the US military and learn how to fight Skynet.
Yeah, but for some fucking reason, none of the previous Terminators thought she was important at all, and Kyle didn't even bring up how important she was to you, because...
She's your wife.
Massively important player in the Resistance, wife of the most important player in the Resistance, never fucking brought up before now because... fuck it, not important in the slightest. What is how they intend to stop the TX from killing her. Our rocket launcher, that does work pretty well on enemies that still haven't learned how to sidestep. Considering her options are to get in the car or be fucking killed, Kate finally joins the heroes willingly to escape the TX. Thing is, not only does she have legs like Robert Patrick, but she's got motherfucking chainsaw hands! Oh well, that's nothing a convenient truck can't fix, allowing them to easily slip away.
We need a new vehicle.
Are you sure? I mean, it seems so fitting watching you guys drive around in a hearse. No need to keep it though. In short order, they find a campsite with equipment, food, a goddamn RV, and not a soul around them for miles for no apparent reason. Oh well, this gives them time to finally explain why the hell the TX was killing all those seemingly unimportant people.
This Terminatrix, how many others does she have on her hit list?
22. Anderson Elizabeth, Anderson William, Ferreira Jose.
It seems John Connor had generals of general importance, and she has killed quite a fucking lot of them already. And I'm not exactly sure why, because it seems to have done fuck all to change the future. The real terror is that Kate's father is also on the list of targets. With this and fuck all evidence, John figures out that he has to be the one who created Skynet, which means the TX would likely want to keep him alive, but fuck making sense. The important thing is that Judgment Day happens to be today, and the Terminator isn't programmed to follow John Connor's orders this time, no matter what he tries.
You cannot self-terminate.
No, you can't. I can do whatever the hell I want. I'm a human being. I'm not some goddamn robot.
Cybernetic organism.
Whatever.
Mind my pronouns, shitlord. Here we learn he's actually programmed to take orders from Kate! Never mind all those scenes earlier where she was telling him to do this or that and he completely fucking ignored it. That's not the point. Because they find it oh so weird this Terminator would listen to her but not to John, the question comes up as to exactly why that is. The story goes they couldn't program him to obey past John because present John was fucking dead. This particular Terminator was captured by the Resistance after a very successful assassination mission.
I killed you.
I knew there was a reason he was my favorite character in this movie. So they push onward as per Kate's orders to save her father from the TX and stop Judgment Day. Thing is, not only has the mysterious computer virus spread absolutely everywhere, but all his higher-ups are breathing down his neck to set Skynet loose and squash the bug already. While at the same time, the TX is casually strolling through undetected. Yeah, I know she can mimic shit, but still, I think she'd set off a metal detector or two. On the plus side, she finds the room with the original model Terminators, the T1 series. Johnny 5 is alive, and he's pissed! To be fair to the TX's master plan of killing Brewster, she does wait for him to press that little Y key and give Skynet free rein before she tries to kill him. Well, if your giant fucking killer robot with big fucking guns can just waltz right into your top secret military facility, I guess that explains how the TX got in undetected. Who needs fucking security around your national security? So they're too late to stop him, but it's not too late to make even less sense.
Skynet, the virus has infected Skynet.
Skynet is the virus. It's the reason everything's falling apart.
Fucking how? Skynet's been out and about for about 2 minutes. The fucking virus has been ravaging things all movie. This line made a lot more sense in the version of this script where the TX actually uploaded the virus in the first place and didn't just use the internet to look up her fucking targets.
Skynet has become self-aware. In 1 hour, it will initiate a massive nuclear attack on its enemy.
What enemy?
Us!
Wasn't supposed to be until humans got fidgety and tried to pull the plug. Also, it was supposed to take a lot longer before Skynet became self-aware, but hey, that's only according to the fucking Terminator franchise. So Daddy's dying pretty fast, but slow enough to tell them that Skynet is located in a secret base with a secret code-based lock, so that they get his secret envelope from the secret safe to open the secret door. Then boom goes the dynamite and he's dead as shit. With the codes in hand, they move to escape while the Terminator does battle the TX. It's entertaining enough, but the points where she actually utilizes her specific TX powers happen a bit less frequently than you'd think. I guess if she utilized all her powers, this movie would be over far too quickly, but I missed the part where her options screen came up and the difficulty selected was professional games journalist. After actually utilizing her skill set, though, she handily takes out the Terminator. Make that takes over the Terminator. Way to not surprise us at all later. In any case, our hero's escape route leads right through a handy-dandy particle accelerator, which John activates, giving them the perfect means to escape. Oh, fuck it, hindsight is plot relevant in the Terminator franchise. Watch Skynet send one back made of aluminum next time. So while her makeup is completely ruined, Kate and John make it to the airstrip.
There's my father's plane! I trained on it!
And conveniently enough, not only was she a childhood friend, a daughter of the general, she's going to be a general in the Resistance herself, and was a vet, but she also happens to have a pilot's license. I wonder if the fast food employee was a tank operator at one point. Of course the Terminator shows up, and John's a fucking idiot, walking towards him when he's yelling for them to get away as soon as possible. Seems the nanomachines have taken him over, but his CPU is intact, and he knows he's not in control. John, however, pleads for him to return to normal.
You know what you have to do. You know my destiny.
Not to be technical, John, he was originally programmed to kill you. And he did. As your destiny, kiddo. Here, though, the Terminator deals with this hacking to revert back to the other hack that the Resistance gave him by turning himself off and back on again. This means when our heroes reach the secret bunker, obviously tailed by the TX, he can show up to save them in the nick of time.
I'm back.
Back again. Arnie's back. Tell a friend. With him there to cover for them, they can infiltrate the secret bunker and destroy Skynet once and for all. They also happen to need the Terminator to hold the door for them because having the codes means nothing when the mechanism to keep it open fails. This puts our heroic Terminator just where he needs to be to utilize that conveniently established second power core and take out the TX.
You are terminated.
And let's hope to fuck they can actually take out Skynet, because it looks like it'll be trapped down there and starved to death now. But what's this? Skynet isn't here! Kate's father didn't lead them to the secret location where they can save the world, but a deluxe bomb shelter. So, shitty ending! The world is fucking destroyed anyway. They didn't even come close to saving it, and the TX killed most of her targets anyway, though it looks like along with our hero's efforts all movie, that changed fuck all as well.
It was software. In cyberspace. There was no system core.
Excuse me, but wasn't the whole point of the time travel in the first movie banking on this little detail?
Why this elaborate scheme with the Terminator?
It had no choice. Their defense grid was smashed. We'd won.
But fuck it all, Skynet is software. As long as some asshole out there is walking around with a Tamagotchi, we will never be safe from the machines. Thus, our story comes to a close with one last fuck you. You know how the future is not set and there's no fate but what we make? Well, fuck all that. The future has been written, you have a predetermined destiny, and nothing you do matters. The end. God fucking damn it! Well, that was Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, and you might enjoy it. As long as you have no knowledge or respect for the first two movies in the franchise. Because sweet hell, this movie does not. Yes, the second movie wrapped things up pretty well, and it's likely they'd have to retcon some things to make a third movie, as the second film retconned a tad from the first, but dear God, what the hell were they thinking? I can offer a better continuation my damn self. Remember how at the end of Terminator 2 they said it was so important to destroy every last trace of future tech to prevent Judgment Day? Ever stop to wonder where the Terminator's arm went? Well, that was caught in a huge cog earlier and ripped off. That didn't get smelted. It remained there, and could have been a means to continue the technological progression towards self-aware machines, but nope, magical computer virus that came from nowhere. Even that is up for debate, as I did mention in the other version of the script, the virus did come from the future via the TX. Here, it's not explicitly stated where it came from, but that means it is open enough that it could have still come from the TX. It still makes no damn sense how we went from a superconducting at room temperature neural net processor capable of being self-aware to, oh gee, this thing got into my Pentium 4, looks like the end of the world, guys. The best part of this movie is the spectacle, as there is a lot of major action sequences throwing all sorts of shit around the screen, and it can be entertaining for what it is. However, I really couldn't give two shits about the cast of characters. The plot gets detailed so late in the production I'm left wondering why I should care for most of it, and at times I was rooting for the TX because I could at least identify with wanting to see all these assholes on screen die. At the end of the day, Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines is a big-budget, big-action cash grab, with next to no relation to the style or concepts presented in the previous Terminator movies. Maybe you could enjoy it for mindless destruction, but even that gets tedious, and the whole package comes in at 2 time-traveling killer robots sent back for no apparent reason because it's not like you can change the future anyway, out of 5. Thank you all for watching. I've been Dr. Shado, and remember, your actions do matter. Stop watching cat videos and study for your finals.
Talk to the hand.